extreme pleasure to welcome all of you here today to Homecoming 2023 and our Hall of Honor induction, and a special welcome to all of our inductees and their special guests. We are going to start the program today with some music, I think. So if you would, please welcome Mr. Blaine Cowan and the South Houston High School Choir. Thanks, Blaine. Thanks, choir. Great job. Always a pleasure for you guys to be here. Thank you. Well, again, welcome. So this is the premier alumni event in the district a week or so ago. But it's very special to the alumni and to the school because we get a lot of help from the school and got a board of directors that try to make this homecoming event each year better each year. And I think with your help and this good turnout today, we've been able to do that today. We have some special guests that I'd like to recognize with us today, so I want to ask them to stand when I call their name from our PISD Board of Trustees. Chris Donald, Mr. Casey Phelan, and Ms. Nelda Sullivan. We really appreciate you folks being here. It's important to all of us that you're here. Thank you. And from our administration, we're fortunate to have our superintendent, Dr. Deanne Powell. Associate Superintendent, Mr. Joe Saavedra. Associate Superintendent, Tony Lopez. And Associate Superintendent, Ms. Rhonda Parma. And we appreciate all of you folks being here too. It's very important to us. And now would you please welcome the principal of South Houston High School, Ms. Andrea Winters.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Good morning. It's a great day to be a Trojan. Congratulations to our inductees. On behalf of the faculty and staff, welcome to our special guests and welcome back to our esteemed alumni, to the place where it all began. It is a pleasure and honor to have you back on campus, reconnecting with the memories that shaped your experiences here. We are excited to share in your successes and hearing about your journeys since graduation. And to our teachers being recognized today, you inspired your students for decades. South Houston High School is a very special place. We are proud of so many things, including having the strongest alumni association in the district and the standards for which the other associations were built. If you are an alumni here, please stand and be recognized. Anywhere in the audience. Thank you. I have to give a special shout out to three gentlemen who have made and organized this event for months. Wayne Adams, Al Carter, and Herman Williams. Would you please stand and be recognized? For sure saw that this was put on today as a success. And then finally, I don't know if Ms. Alba is still back there, but to our culinary students, thank you for a delicious lunch. And then thank you to Scott Cundiff and our video tech students for videoing today. So there are three things that we tell our students, we remind them of daily. The first one is, it's a great day to be a Trojan. In fact, you saw it on the wall as you came down the main hallway. So they hear that a lot. And then we also tell them and remind them to do what's right, go Trojans. And then finally, enter with honor, exit with pride. Today is the best example of this. It is an honor to be a student here at South Houston High School, and I'm not going to get choked up. Their academic journey includes integrity, respect, and commitment to uphold a positive reputation, and then exiting after graduation, leaving high school proud of their achievements, contributions to the school and community, fostering a lasting connection with their alma mater. So today, as you walk through these familiar halls, let the echoes of laughter and lessons learned here resonate. Your achievements inspire our current students, showcasing the incredible possibilities that lie ahead. Take pride in the legacy you contributed to. So in closing, again, welcome and welcome back. I want you to know that you always have a home here at South Houston High School. And a selfish plug, our game tonight's at 7 o'clock, so please come out. Our kids love seeing bands in the stands. Go Trojans!
You know, Andrea thanked some people, and I'm really going to thank them again because you can't imagine how much work some of these people have done to make this happen. First of all, Ms. Winky and Mr. Aaron here at South Houston, assistant principal, and all their staff. Also, Ms. Catherine Alba and her culinary arts program back there has provided this wonderful lunch, and she's also going to have a reception with cookies and punch following this program this morning. So we want to thank her. Ms. Emily Oliveras from the Education Foundation, who provided the table decorations, floral arrangements for us today. And it goes without saying how much thanks we owe to Mr. Al Carter and the work he put forth. Very proud with getting us all ready to go, maintaining the museum, which is one of a kind, which I think you all agree with that. And also, I'd like to thank all of our board members on the Alumni Association board who've been here all day working, getting all this ready to go, and been meeting, planning this for a good while. All of the board members on the Alumni Association, please stand up to be recognized. And of course, as you came in today, you noticed we had some outstanding students out there reading here. We had cheerleaders, we had the Navy ROTC program, we had the Jeanette's dance team, and of course we just had our choir perform for us. So we really owe them a debt of gratitude for taking care of that for us today. So a round of applause for them too. And now I'm going to turn the mic over to a good friend, known him a long time, from the class of 68, who's going to serve as our MC, introducing our inductees today. Please welcome Mr. Herky Munster.
It's always fun coming back to Soho High, let me tell you. Well, I do welcome all of you, the honorees, and of course the distinguished guests and our alumni. It is great to come back to South Houston. For someone that never participated in school events, I can't believe I'm here at this crowd. I'm not real fast, but I sure am slow. I'm a slow learner, you know. I mean, after all, I did go back to college when I was 48, because there's nothing good on television, so. But anyway, I'm honored to be I don't know how to say this, co-MC with my little buddy Wayne Adams. And my name is really Herman Munster. Class of 68, the class of 1968, the first freshman class, I might add. And most of my friends here knew me as Herky. Most of the teachers knew me as Trouble. That there were three little Munsters that attended South Houston. My two sisters, Nancy and Carol, who, by the way, were very beautiful and very smart. They got the beauty and the brains. I got the draft notice during the Vietnam era, so that worked out real good. So, but I don't know if you know, in 1964, the high television sitcom, I might go out.
Yes.
So that tells me I have a very limited time. It's not the first time I've been told to sit down and shut up. So. But anyway, in 1964, at the peak of television sitcoms, there was a lot of fun 30-minute programs that you could watch. And there were two ghoulish programs that came on. And they really were entertaining. They entertained families with surreal and some kind of silly stuff. One was called The Munsters. The other was called The Addams Family. Now, I don't know if y'all realize what detail Al Carter goes into these events. But you know today is Friday the 13th. And he had have representatives of the Munsters and the Adams family. How you are incredible. Anyway, I will be inducting 3 alumni and 3 former faculty members. This is a great event. Some can be here with us, some cannot be with us, but it is a time to not so much celebrate awards as much celebrate lives. People. We're about people. And I think the school has always been about people. Now, you know, if you ever saw the movie Forrest Gump, where Mama was always talking about, you never know what you're going to get, it's like a box of chocolate. And that's what life is about. Well, education is the same way with me. I never knew what I was going to get when I came here at South Houston until later on in life. You know, real education begins when you get out of school and you get into the real education process. It's called the School of Hard Knocks. The colors are black and blue, and the fight song is ouch. And that's just life. And that's when you really grow. But here's some things that I gleaned from being a student here at Southeastern High School. Information without application leads to frustration. Our minds are like bananas. When you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you're rot. If you're not expanding your mind, you're going to rot. What you are comes out in everything you do. Reputation is what you are when everything is favorable. Character is what you are when everything is unfavorable. Reputation is what you are in the light. Character is what you are in the darkness. What people see is our reputation, but our real character is behind the scenes. And so we have to stop and realize that it is so many people that have instilled value into each of our lives. Whether it was former alumni, whether it was teachers, whatever, we are impacted by a number of people. And of course, my favorite one is that if you don't behave yourself, you're going to have a meeting with the Board of Education. If you know what I mean. They don't do that anymore, do they? Well, I got my share of it, I can tell you. So, anyway, I'm now going to introduce our first inductees. 3 alumni. The first is Mr. Larry Curbo, class of 64, is deceased. And attending Mr. Curbo is his daughter, Erin Lannis, and her husband, I believe. And paying tribute for Mr. Curbo is his 64 classmate, Vicki Clapton. Vicki?
Let me get situated here. Don't ever break your foot or take walking for granted. Larry was a classmate of mine. He was very active in the track team of the school. While Larry was on that team, the South Houston track team won many tournaments and everything. And Larry was a distance runner, and I'd say he kept mostly to himself, except for the guys he ran track with. And I've talked to several of them, and they all have good things to say about Larry. What I remember, when I got back in touch with him and found out that he had served in Vietnam, in the Mekong Delta, and was awarded several
several awards, 2 Bronze Stars, 2 Silver Stars, and he turned down the second Purple Heart because he didn't think he was hurt that bad. Now, they just don't give those awards away. And you don't go into a day saying, hey, I'm going to try to get me one of them. No, you go into a day and says, hope I don't get shot. But Larry and I talked for a while over the phone and sent emails back and forth. And his sleeping habits were kind of close to mine, where middle of the night, we may be on the phone or texting back and forth. But that guy had more questions that I could answer. Some of them, he'd ask a second question when I'm still trying to figure out the first one. And I always thought that I'd see Larry again. I always thought it. He came to one of our reunions, and I guess that's the last time I saw Larry. Anyway, I'm so glad to meet his family sitting over here. Daughter, Erin, and Alan. Son-in-law. Okay, and you want to say a few words? I'm passing the mic on to somebody that can really tell you about her daddy.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much to Al, everyone here. My dad would have loved us more than anything in the world, and I'm just so sad that he couldn't be here today, but I'm so happy that I'm here. As we just heard, he was so proud to fight for his country, and he enlisted. He wasn't drafted, he signed up to go. So I guess it's kind of appropriate that he passed away last year on the 4th of July. If you ask a young person today who their hero is, who their idol is, I think you'll hear some sports stars, movie stars, music stars, and don't get me wrong, I love me some Taylor Swift. But I think it is important that we really value our true heroes. Those are our veterans, those are our educators, because he loved being a teacher. He taught for more than 30 years. And those are our parents and our grandparents. And so I really want to thank you, everyone here today, for remembering my dad, and for honoring all the inductees, because it means the world to me and his family, and I know it means the world to him.
The second inductee is Miss Becky Benner. And I'm assuming she has friends. And I'm glad he has some friends, maybe. Anyway, paying tribute to her is Ms. Tony Lopez, who is the Associate Superintendent of Pasadena ISD.
Talk about an honor to get to introduce such a great lady into this, and want to say that she is a great person to be inducted into this Alumni Hall of Honor. Becky's journey through life and her unwavering commitment to education have brought her full circle back here to South Houston High School. South Houston, I just want to say that you prepared Becky to be inquisitive and quick-witted, because if you have a problem to solve and you take it to Becky, she's going to research it and she's going to find the answer. Now, the answer will more than likely be a new technology device or some shiny gadget, because she's always going to be on the cutting edge. But her quick wit comes because she has a wide range of knowledge, whether that be the knowledge of football, medical terms, she's all our resident nurse and doctor in the office, musical instruments, or the Zelda video game. You see, after graduating from South Houston High School in 1980, she initially explored various fields, including medicine, law, and even managing a seaside hotel. Becky, we're going to talk about that afterwards. I want to know more about that. Naturally, her football knowledge came from her father, Lee Benner, who was a longtime coach at South Houston and in the district. And her knowledge of medical terms probably came from her Bachelor of Science degree from HBU. But I believe the musical instruments and Zelda knowledge came from because of her two children, Courtney and Caleb. She raised them. I have personal experience with both of her children, so I got to teach one and be the principal of the other one. But I know that she raised them by setting an example of how to be a good person and be kind-hearted. And that example continues as she serves in her favorite role as Phoebe to her beautiful grandchildren, Elle and Finn. Becky clearly has a wide range of talents, but her true calling has been in education. She taught science at Adobe, worked with our alternative certification program, was an assistant principal here at South Houston High School, and a district science specialist. Along the way, she earned her master's degree from the University of Houston, Clear Lake, and heck, she even wrote curriculum for NASA. But for the past decade, Becky has served as the Executive Director of Curriculum Instruction for our district. We are fortunate to have her leading the way with our high school curriculum. She pours her heart and soul into her job. There's not a task too big or a task too small for Becky. Most evenings, if you pass by the administration building, you will see Becky's car there all hours of the night. Even though we tell her to go home, we do tell her to go home, she wants to make sure that she provides campuses with all the support that they need. She routinely meets with high school principals, and no offense, wherever Andrea is, high school principals are brutal. They're a tough crowd, but I watch her listen to their concerns with compassion and a willingness to serve. Becky Benner's journey is a testament to the power of passion and dedication to the field of education. Her remarkable professional achievements and contributions to curriculum development have left a mark on Pasadena ISD. As we honor her today, we celebrate a distinguished alumni whose journey has come full circle and who continues to make a profound impact on the world of education. Congratulations, Becky. We are very proud of you, and this is a very well-deserved honor. She doesn't have to be front and center, but we need you front and center, Missy.
I knew her daddy. I think we're done, right?
Do I want to say anything? Yes, I do want to say something. A lot of the people in this room were my teachers. I could make you all stand up, but you might have hurting knees. But I don't like to. And a number of you have poured into my life in other ways. Thank you so much. To me, this is a humongous honor and a little overwhelming because it's humbling and it's sort of a little on the embarrassing side because we don't do the things that we do for fame or recognition. We do them because it is gratifying to help other people. But this school means a lot to me. The worst smelling parts of this building are awesome to me. I grew up in the Blues Gym, and when I'm there, I go, oh, I know that investment. Our dad was a coach here from the time I can remember, and I went to every sporting event, all over the state of Texas, because that's all we could afford to do, but was follow Daddy around and go to games. So I've been a Southeastern Trojan my whole life, and so are my sisters who are sitting here with me. So this is a wonderful place to be, and I will tell people unabashedly, this is my favorite school, even though I'm not supposed to have favorites. But it's okay, it's my favorite school because I went here, and I'm a Southeastern Trojan, and I love this place. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for honoring me. It is such a big deal to me, and I want to go sit down.
Our third inductee of the alumni is Mr. Kenny Mercado, class of 81. I think that's a pretty good class. I'm not sure. And you're going to have to elaborate on that. But, and he also has friends and family. But anyway, paying tribute to Kenny, it's his 81 classmate, good friend, Danny Wright.
I've known Kenny since we were 13, and I've gotten to see his journey along the way. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Herkins here, because his jokes mean I can do whatever. So, I think Kenny had been inducted before, and he didn't make it. And I felt like my Little League dad, his son didn't make baseball, All-Stars. So, when I went to look at the Hall of Honor people, it was such a diverse group. You look at it, it's like, well, that's hard to get into. So I look at the Hall of Honor as honoring the alumnus, but also inspiration for these young guys, the students. And that's where Kenny's tale starts, because Kenny was in National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, he was smart. When Kenny graduated high school, he was 5'3". So Kenny, now a year or two, grew, and he became a really good basketball player. We'd go to Wilson Park and play basketball, and Kenny would play basketball like a rabid octopus, but he would be on you, and he was tenacious, and he'd drive you crazy. By the time in 1985, he graduated U of H with electrical engineering degree. When we hit our first 10-year reunion in 91, he got his master's degree. 97, he got married, got an MBA, had kids, but Kenny wasn't going to skimp on his kids. He coached the Little League and all that. So along the way, we kept in touch, kept track. Kenny was in charge of some really big projects, like the smart meters and all that. But I knew Kenny had made it when he called me one time and asked me if I wanted to go to a basketball game. It was the Clippers and the Rockets, final of the whoever wins doesn't place a championship. Well, he had the center point seats. So when you go into the arena, you keep walking all the way down. And I thought, wow, how to get that? So when I got home, I checked on the center point world chart, and there he is. But to me, what makes Kenny special is, and he got this in South Houston, because if you took like the 3 years before us and the 3 years after us, so many people went and worked at HOMP. Well, Kenny was the boss of HOMP. Kenny cares about his people. And he takes pride that they make good money with benefits. And Kenny also takes it really hard when one of his guys gets hurt, or even worse. He takes it personally. So that is incredible. When you have a boss that high who's looking after his people. And I think he got that from here because we knew so many people. Oh man, that's a quite hard.
Your time ran up and time to get off. So we are getting a new sound system.
Donate right now.
Donations from alumni.
Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So, I would like to introduce y'all to our Makota.
I promise you, we will have a fundraiser. We won't pay for the sound system.
There we go.
Thank you, Danny. My class of 81 is all sitting here over to the right. Half of them aren't here yet, so we're going to talk about them later. The other half is here. We do stay in touch. We have this little group that text each other every day, especially when the Astros are playing, or the Rockies, or the Texans, or anyone else. Everyone's an expert in sports, so we all listen to one another. We go back and forth all the time. It's a joy to be here. It's an honor to be here. It's a privilege. Thank you so much for the recognition. I don't even know how to say this in words. The honorees are extraordinary people. I grew up in Sun Valley, Texas. We moved here in 1958. My sister graduated in 76. My brother graduated in 78. I graduated in 81. Played the Freeway Manor Little League. Played football at St. Francis Cabrini. I played basketball at the YMCA. It's now used to be Casa Luna, but it was East End. And my roots are here, and my home is here, my life, my blood's all here. Fourth generation Houstonian, went to school at South Houston, went to college at the University of Houston, went to work at Houston Lighting Power, you can figure it out. I love Houston, I've always loved Houston, and I've served it with my heart and soul. And when the winter freeze occurred 2 years ago, it was my responsibility to power back on to the Houstonians of great Houston, Texas. I did everything I could and tried as hard as I could to save lives and keep people power back on in one of the worst situations that we've ever experienced in our city. And it was just an honor and a privilege. And being here today is much more important, more valuable than anything that I've been a part of. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate our high school, and I recognize the great work that you do here to make it such a special place. My 3 children are also going to live in Houston. They're still in college right now, but they're going to come back and make sure they come back. And enjoy this same experience that I had. But thank y'all for your time. Great privilege to be here, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I will say this is one of the liveliest events I can remember. It has to be because of you, especially your personality. We also have a special recognition to someone every year that is a unique individual, and we like to honor them, not humiliate them. This guy married my 2nd grade girlfriend. Would you take care of this?
Well, I told Emery that I had the privilege of introducing him today. And I promise not to take too many shots or tell any stories from before he became a minister. Okay? But in any case, the Reverend Emery Gadd has been named the recipient of the 2023 David M. Ainsworth Alumni Spirit Award, presented annually by the South Houston High School Alumni Association. And the Ainsworth Award is named for its first recipient, David Ainsworth, a member of the class of 1968, who helped build and strengthen social media connections for alumni here at South Houston until his death in 2013. The award recognizes a South Houston graduate who has made significant contributions to alumni-related activities And Emory is a 1965 grad of South Houston High School and has served the South Belt and South Houston communities for most of the past half century. In his roles as an associate pastor and director of community involvement at Sagemont Church. Now I'm going to deviate from this script a little bit because, see, I've known this man for almost 60 years, okay? And I was there when his career started because I was a young coach at Dobie High School back in the 70s when Mr. Jimmy Barber invited a young theology student or graduate from Sagemont Church, Emory Gadd, to come into the school and help counsel and minister to students. And I can tell you during the years Emory and I were together at Dobie High School, he was always there, doing whatever needed to be done to help out. And he was always in the cafeteria talking to kids with encouragement, advice, or whatever they might need. You know, for roughly 3 decades, Emory's ministerial focus was over at Dobie High School, which opened in '68. Most of you know that was kind of a spinoff of South Houston because a lot of students who maybe spent their first 2 years here at South Houston High School ended up at Dobie. My sister, Diane, was one of those. She graduated from Dobie in '70. But because of that rapid, growth around here, they had to open that new school. And serving as youth minister at Sagemont, Emory embraced the second role as guidance counselor, of course. And when I was there, he was also chaplain to all of our athletic teams. And I don't know how many years you did that, Emory, but it was special. So, Emory spent a lot of time across the freeway over there at Dobie High School. And he kind of admitted in his bio that, South Houston High School was kind of a distant memory until 2007, when then principal here, Steve Fulham, asked him to come in and speak to the freshman class, incoming freshman class, right? Knowing, Emory's impact on the community. And I've spent now 50 plus years witnessing this man's impact on PISD, South Houston community, the Pasadena community, the South Belt community. But when Emory came in and spoke, he noticed this is a good story. It's in his bio. He noticed the condition of our kind of cherished victory bell out in the Victory Garden out here that we used to ring every time we won a football game, basketball game, whatever. Well, it had deteriorated to the point the paint was faded. The bell didn't ring anymore because it was cracked. Because a bunch of football players, rang it too hard and the abuse over the years. So one of the things Emory did was organize with his class of 65 an effort to replace that victory bell. Mr. Fuller was able to find a duplicate bell from a used bell dealer, and with the help of Emory, his class, Mr. Fullen, and our friend Bobby Allen with a donation, they were able to replace that victory bell. And it is mounted out there above the original victory bell here at South Houston High School. The bell was installed, oddly enough, right in 2007, coincided with the 50th anniversary of South Houston High School. And it was rung the first time because that homecoming weekend that year in 2007, South Houston beat Emory's Dobie Longhorns. And that led to a state playoff berth also. And of course, Emory, knowing that bell ringing again, he knew there was a reason he needed to be here at South Houston High School. So there was a reconnect. The bond was restored. But he's been an eager volunteer for his class reunions. He's also been a committed participant in the activities of the Alumni Association over the years, which was established in 2012. He served on a variety of boards, panels for both Pasadena ISD and San Jacinto College. He and his lovely wife, Susan, have been married for 57 years. We all went to high school together here. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend and the 2023 Ainsworth Award winner, the Reverend Enrique.
Thank you, Wayne. Like everybody else has come up here, it's an honor to be here. I think if you could go back and find all of our teachers when we were here, they would be shocked and greatly surprised that we were standing here. I love this place. I love my years here. I was fortunate enough to grow up at a time where it was like Ralph and Rich and Potsy down at Arnold's. We really had a good time. We were not all best friends, but we acknowledged one another in the hallway. We spoke to one another. We didn't hit one another. We spoke to one another. And this school and my class, the 65 especially, are like family to me. And lifelong friends. And that's not going on today, folks. I know there's faculty members here, and I'm around schools all the time. And that's just not going on today. Alumni associations are hard to come by today. And so I'm thankful for our alumni associations, what they're doing. And I want to thank our school district. I know our board of trustees are here, and Dr. Powell's here, but all these superintendent of schools and board members that I've worked under have allowed me carte blanche to have an impact on this district. And that doesn't happen across America either. Most school districts don't trust somebody like me. But they did, and I just want to have an impact on it, and that's what I want to do. Wayne, I thank you for holding back and not saying everything you could have.
Well, Emory, I'm not going to hold back.
Well, don't sacrifice his word for the truth, Herbie.
Susan, can I tell her story that she had earlier? The one about you? Well, I don't make fun of people's names for obvious reasons. But we often refer to Emory as E-Gad. And I was telling Susan that had we continued to be boyfriend and girlfriend and got married, and if we had children, they'd say, "Dad, your kids look like little monsters." Emory has just been the best guy, to know. He is so much fun, and his wife is the reason he's so much fun. Love you guys. You're the best. All right, we're now going to induct our former faculty members. Our first is Miss Diane Stafford, journalism and English between 1966 and 1982. Unfortunately, she could not be with us today. She's in California recovering from a recent illness. Paying tribute to her is Miss Gail Dexter Holder Carter, class of 1969, and one of Miss Stafford's yearbook editors back in the day.
Aaron, I'll try to make this brief. Okay. I am pleased to be able to introduce Southeastern High School faculty Hall of Honor inductee, Ms. Diane SHHS Stafford. We do wish you could have been here. but she is at home recuperating from an illness. Mrs. Stafford was a journalism and English teacher at Southeastern High School from 1966 to 60 in 1982. But her lifelong career in journalism started as a student at Pasadena High School. She is a homegrown success story of the Pasadena Independent School District, as many of you are. Her Pasadena High School yearbook noted many of her accomplishments while she was in high school. One was that she was known for her sparkling personality, and she believed that you should always look for the best in people. That is how I remember Mrs. SHHS. She would become Mrs. Stafford after I graduated, but I still cannot call her Diane. I was fortunate enough to be on the high school yearbook staff with Mrs. SHHS, and I served as her junior class editor and personalities editor and co-editor my senior year. That was absolutely one of my favorite memories of my years here at Southeastern High School, especially because she would let us leave campus to go sell ads for the yearbook. There are also many memories of Mrs. Stafford on the Southeastern High School alumni page. Here are just a few of the comments. Lee Sullivan wrote, "I spent a decade as a reporter and editor, and every single day I use skills that I learned from Mrs. Stafford." Joanne Stiff Paul says, "You were always so encouraging and supportive, definitely a bright star during my years at Southeastern High School." Pamela Eads wrote, "My journalism class with her led me to major in journalism in college. I got my first job at KTXH and met my husband there. So you could say she was instrumental in my life and made a huge difference. Thank you, Mrs. Stafford. I will be forever grateful." Cindy Craig wrote, "I was on the yearbook staff and editor of the Forum my senior year, and Mrs. Stafford was advisor for both of those. She gave me a great deal of freedom in developing content for the paper. It was there that I found my future career. I have a degree in advertising from the University of Texas and spent my entire career in advertising, marketing, speech writing, copywriting, and even a stint at Hallmark Cards where I was a ghostwriter for Charles Schultz and Jim Davis, the Garfield creator. And it all started in the publications room at Southeastern High School." And Al Carter wrote, "My freshman year, first day, sixth period, it was a rough go. Getting lost and dodging seniors. But then I walked into her freshman English class and I decided to come back the next day." Comments from others, remarkable and gifted professional, great tribute to a wonderful lady, nothing but wonderful memories, my favorite teacher. Many of her lifelong accomplishments are listed for you there in the bios on your table. So I won't read those, but I would like just to say, and we hope she'll be able to watch this and come back and visit when she's able. Mrs. Stafford, in your 16 years at Southeastern High School, you touched so many lives in such a positive way, and you laid the foundation for so many successful careers. You are truly deserving of this award, and we thank you.
Our second former faculty member to be inducted is Ms. Charlotte Eads. She was teacher of orchestra from 1985 to 2003. She's deceased. Paying tribute to Ms. Eads is Ms. Sally, former choir director and member of the Faculty Hall of Honor.
I think it's true.
Honor. Before I start, I have the honor of recognizing Charlotte. I would like to say a word about Becky Leonard, all-state choir member, and in 1980 she was playing a leading role in Annie Get Your Gun. So not only is she incredibly versatile as an adult, she was incredibly versatile as a student. And the wonder that she is now started long ago, and I'm so pleased to have had the honor to be her teacher. I'd also like to say a word about Tom Swan. I would like him to remember our days backstage during Court of Troy. And the little picket fence. You know what I mean. And I'd like one more round of applause with people on their feet for Al Carter. Such a great man. There is no one on this earth that exemplifies the spirit of South Houston any more than Al Carter. I do stand before you today, both as a professional colleague and a close and personal friend of the one and only Charlotte Eads, even though she graduated from Dilley. Charlotte began her 19-year tenure as head orchestra director at South Houston in 1985. Her orchestras won superior ratings at UIL and other music festivals, and they were named best in class throughout the country, in Texas, Florida, Colorado, Washington, D.C. Charlotte produced award-winning orchestras, but more importantly, she involved her students in the community by providing engaging and interesting performances on campus and throughout Pasadena. When the fifth graders from our feeder elementaries came to hear the band choir and orchestra, for example, Charlotte had black lights. The orchestra members wore white gloves, and they played the Munsters. And it scared a few fifth graders. But most notably, Charlotte inspired many of her students to pursue music education and become orchestra directors in the public schools, creating an enduring legacy. Charlotte was very active also as an adjudicator and a clinician, and she was on the staff for many years at the Sam Houston State University summer orchestra camp as a cello instructor. So her influence across the community and the state is very vast. Her professional service included being the Texas Music Educators Association Orchestra Vice President and also the Texas Orchestra Directors Association President, as well as numerous other service positions within those organizations. Charlotte's influence certainly went beyond the district, the region, and the state when she served as the American String Teachers Association Planning Committee Chair for their conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico. While serving her campus, her district, and her community, Charlotte Eads was also carving an exemplary career which gained state and national recognition. However, there was never any doubt that for Charlotte, her students came first. And now to say a few words about Charlotte. First, Jane Ayton, then George Tate, and finally Anna Payne.
Thank you, Sarah. I first met the Eads family in the early 70s when Charlotte's mother, Barbara Eads, and I had responsibility to work together to plan the Texas Music Educators Convention. I was at that time president of the Texas unit of American String Teachers Association, and Barbara was the orchestra division chairman for TBA. And they came to my house, first time I had met any of them. It took Charlotte's mother and father more than exuberant commands to get her to look up from the book and say hello. She was not an enthusiastic about meeting me, but we became very good friends. After that initial meeting, Barbara and I worked together on many projects, and our families became close friends. For years, we celebrated the holidays together, we traveled together, and we shared special occasions in each of our families. So it was my privilege to watch Charlotte grow up. I think she was about 10 years old when I first met her. When she chose to be an orchestra director, she had the challenge of following in her mother's rather formidable footsteps. She was an outstanding orchestra director and the first woman president of Texas Music Educators. So it was a real joy for me, having known Charlotte since she was a little girl, to see her come into her own and see the accomplishments that she achieved. I came once to hear a musical here at South Houston High School. I don't remember which one it was, but I remember coming up for that occasion. So thank you very much for letting me be part of this today.
Thank you. So as of 1992, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Barbara Eads, Charlotte's mom, hired me to this district. It was soon after that I got to meet Charlotte. And I promised Ms. Schott I'd keep this very short, so I'll keep it short. Around 1992, 93, somewhere there, I got introduced to Charlotte during a UIL event, and it was downhill from there. Actually, I learned a lot, and I want to leave you with one thing. I'm going to make this really short. I was complaining about things like I want to do a lot. And Charlotte, after I got a chance to see her work with some students, she just turned around to me one day and said, "You know, it's okay to be positive." And not only that, positive doesn't mean permissive. Because I was always under the impression, well, let's face it, when I grew up, it was tough. You got to be tough on kids, you got to be good. As a matter of fact, someone brought up corporal punishment. Well, I actually did that way back in the 70s. I've been teaching that one. Anyway, Charlotte said it was okay to be positive and not permissive. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today, because it's made a lasting impression for the 30 years that I've known her.
As you all know, Charlotte Eads had a heart as big as Texas. Her love of music overflowed and blessed her students. She made everyone she knew feel loved and included, whether they be her orchestra family or her family by choice. This honor is a reminder of her love for her students and for music.
The lasting impact of Charlotte Eads will be measured by the indelible impression she made on the hearts and minds of those who knew her, students and adults, and her beloved husband, Jerry Dunaway, who was one of the first inductees to the faculty Wall of Honor, and I understand they're going to be placed side by side. I got to watch the romance budding across the table in the teacher's lounge as they made goo-goo eyes at each other. But what a perfect couple, and what an impact they had on students. You see, Charlotte's influence had the warmth of an afternoon sun and the comfort of a mother's hug. She radiated joy, optimism, and a contagious enthusiasm, which was both uplifting and hopeful. Her laugh was uproarious and quite equaled by Jerry's. Her kindness unwavering, and her ability to encourage students to believe in themselves was absolutely priceless. In closing, I'd like to share Charlotte's favorite quote, which is a Chinese proverb. An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, and circumstances. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. All who knew Charlotte Eads know we are all forever connected.
Our final inductee of former faculty members, Mr. Tom Swan, teacher of government history, 1973 to 1995. Paying tribute to Tom is Dr. D. Ann Powell, superintendent of schools in Pasadena Independent School District.
Definitely a great day to be a Trojan, Andrea. So this is awesome. We have so many wonderful people to induct today. It's been great to hear the stories. And I get to have the honor of inducting my friend, Tom Swan, who is a true legend in Pasadena ISD. Can I get an amen? He has left a lasting mark on countless students across the district, not just students, but staff, parents, community. He served over 50 years, this school district. Let's just think about that for a second. Over 50 years. There's very few people that can say that, so that is amazing. His tenure here at South Houston as a classroom teacher started in 1972 and lasted until 1995, a 23-year journey where he transformed his classroom into a stage where knowledge came to life in his government and history classes here at South Houston. They were featured attractions, and it's often said that teachers have the power to open doors, and Tom did just that. His seniors were provided with a vibrant, curriculum-rich, Becky, you can attest to that, curriculum-rich portal to college that was second to none. And in the hallways here at this school, he was larger than life. This kind of made me laugh, but I had to put it in here. It was in the bio. Flashy ties and trendy shirts. There you go. He was like a leading Hollywood man, like Ryan O'Neal or Steve McQueen. But beyond the fashionable exterior was truly what set Tom apart. And that was the fact that he brought his classroom to life on the stage. He himself, the handsome, warm-hearted social studies teacher who had just earlier walked the battlefields of Vietnam. The life experiences he brought to the classroom were impactful, to say the least. His journey into education, of course, was preceded by his service to country. He graduated from that other high school, Pasadena High School, in 1962. Then he went on to earn his degree at the University of Houston, and then in 1969, when the call of duty beckoned, he answered that and served in Southeast Asia for 3 years, rising to the rank of sergeant in the infantry. Upon his honorable discharge, he returned to education and returned here to Pasadena ISD, thank goodness. He had a brief stint at Beverly Hills Intermediate and then joined the faculty at South Houston High School, where he focused on government instruction and quickly endeared himself to his students. His dedication went beyond the classroom. His individual guidance on virtually any topic regarding life, compassion, understanding, mentorship, really changed the trajectory of students' lives. And I remember hearing, yes, I called my ex-husband, that's how much I like him. But I used to hear from him when I was a young teacher, just teach like Tom Swan. And I'm like, who is this Tom Swan guy? Which eventually I would learn. But this is what the chief of police from League City said about Cliff Boytena. Tom Swan was a teacher for me over 30 years ago, but I remember him so well. To this day, he is the most impactful educator I ever had. He not only taught the curriculum, but he pushed us to apply the subject matter to the world we lived in. He wanted us to think as young adults, so he treated us like young adults. He cared about our success
and I was blessed to have him as a teacher. It made a true difference in my life. So, Donna Summers, who's an executive director here in the district, same thing. Every minute in the classroom was relevant. He ingrained in me the differences among people. He exemplified compassion and understanding, and he made learning exciting. He invested in my future, and he encouraged me, and he provided me with life lessons that have endured through the years. So you're the reason Donna's so darn smart. She's awesome. And you have had story after story. The way Tom and I got to know each other is after the classroom, he went to be Rick Snyder, Dr. Snyder's right hand. I'm not real sure what you did for Rick Snyder, but it was a lot. Climate, culture, safety, grants. Again, when you're a right hand, you do a lot of things that might not be written in the job description. But when Kirk asked me to go over and ask Tom to be the new principal of the community school, it was an interesting conversation, but wow. I mean, what he did there, that is an alternative campus that helps dropouts come back and that their self-paced approach earn their diplomas. And hundreds of students, thanks to him, have earned their diploma and gone on to do great things because he reclaimed them and changed their lives. And I could tell you a million stories, but this one kid would not come back, and Tom had every way to hook kids in, and he was having a hard time with this kid, so he went to his place of business, and he went through the checkout line, and he wouldn't leave. I don't know if he kept buying gum or, I don't know, soda or what, but he wouldn't leave until this kid promised to come back. And that child graduated, and there's hundreds of stories like that. He never gave up on students. There was just no way that he would do that. So the legacy of Tom will live on in this district forever. Not only was he awesome at Pasadena ISD, but he was an awesome husband, dad, and now grandfather, which he's very, very proud of. His son Charles was a 2000 graduate of Southeastern High School and came back to teach theater here at Southeastern High School. Now teaches in Florida, is that right? I have a hard time keeping up. Another son, awesome PISD employee, David. David's here. Stand up, David. I know you'll love this. David's awesome. He works at Lomax Middle School and does amazing things for our school district. And then his beautiful daughter-in-law, Courtney. Courtney, stand up. I've known her since she was a baby. She's another down-the-road here in our district and is an educator for PISD. And then they have two adorable grandsons. And if we talk about them, we'll be here all day long. So I won't do that. But life sometimes presents its share of challenges and heartaches. And in 2013, Tom lost his beloved wife of 36 years, Mary, to a heart attack. Mary was a dedicated teacher. I saw her in action. She was amazing and had a long-time career not only in our district, but at First Presbyterian Church in Pasadena. And in honor of her memory, they have set up a scholarship. Charles set up a musical theater scholarship as a beautiful testament of the legacy of her life and this remarkable family. So I just want to conclude. I know that we've heard a lot of great things about a lot of people today, and so well deserved. But Tom truly has changed children's lives for so many years, and that's why we honor him. He loves to be honored, don't you, Tom? He loves it so much that he didn't tell David or Courtney that he was being honored today. And so when I called, I'm sure they were wondering why is the superintendent calling. I just wanted to make sure they knew this was actually happening, Tom. I snitched on you. So he is amazing. He again has had an impact on generations of students. So let's all honor Tom by giving him a round of applause as he comes up.
Unbelievable. Thank you so very, very much. A little confused on the line on the middle and the speaker between. Whoever wrote that obviously needed one. Thank you so very much. This is a tremendous honor. I'm very honored to be in the room with these fellow inductees, and we were all outside with some wonderful, fantastic teachers. Some of my best memories in education are from Southeast. I have really loved it. And when I had the opportunity to leave here to go to this administration building, I had to really debate, do I want to or not, because I was so happy here. This is a great place, and it's a great school, with wonderful educational facility. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. I'm deeply, deeply moved. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell a quick Tom Swan story. Everybody can hear me, right? Just one? Yeah, just one. You know, this has been one of my favorite guys over the years in the school district until he became energy manager. He made me keep my thermostats at Pasadena High School on 80 degrees. July, August. That's not many of you know my son Mike. He graduated here in '88. He's principal over at Pasadena Memorial High School. And he's told me, I don't know how many times, this guy was his favorite. All the time favorite. And that's a testament to an educator when you have kids say that. Congratulations.
Our program. Congratulations. I guess that should tell me something. As Angela was saying, this ends our celebration this year. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Congratulations to our inductees. We hope you have enjoyed yourself. You've had some laughter, you've had some tears, we've had just a good time. Trojans forever. Now, for you alumni out there, you need to help the Alumni Association. This is your program. We have alumni members that we're not exactly spring chickens, but we need to get some younger people involved. And if you really care for what we're doing, we hope that you will do that. Now, before the choir sings, I want to remind you, we've got a pep rally coming up at 1:30 in the new gymnasium. We have a mixer at Sweetie's Catfish House at 4 o'clock, which is at 4910 Spencer. And of course, the game tonight at 7 p.m. and we are playing who? Rayburn. And we're going to be who? Rayburn. Are y'all happy Trojans? Thanks for allowing me to be co-conspirator. We can wait at it. You guys bless and learn.
Can I have your attention, please? As the choir is going to come up and sing one more song, we're also going to be having choir alumni join us up here. If you are a choir alumni, you're welcome to